Okay, that was awkward, but I got up here. Right. So, we got light. So this is where it comes up, right? And it's right above this big chunky beam, so you've got to sort of crouch under that beam. And okay, but here's the room. So now it's hard to see the potential of this space, but you know, it looks like a bit of a war zone, but actually this is going to be a really nice space once it's finished. I'm going to insulate and put up plasterboard, and then... So, I've done an experiment. I've pulled up a couple of tiles from this corner, and looks like there's some nuts here. I think a mouse got in under here at some point and brought a load of little snacks in here. There's one beam which you can see here. What I'm going to need to do, basically, I'm going to have to take out this bit of flooring and chop the beam that goes along there, chop that off, and then put something in place to strengthen it. And then you'll have an access here, which has a lot more head height, first of all, so you can get in here a lot easier. And it'll allow for an actual staircase, a very steep sort of, almost a ladder, kind of between a ladder and a staircase that will go up. And you'll be able to come in from here. So your head will pop up here, and then you'll come into the room here, instead of clambering up here and under this beam. It sucks climbing down that, especially one-handed. Right. So the staircase will go here. You'll be able to walk up here into this ceiling here. So I'll have to cut the ceiling out. Okay, change of plan again. I've noticed that having a stepping stool here to get onto the second rung makes getting up a shitload easier, like so much easier. So probably what I'm going to do is just put a stool here, and you can just pull it out, climb up, and then you can get up. And I'm not going to completely abandon the idea of putting in a staircase. I think it's a great idea, and I think it's something I'll do when I have, you know, 2-3 weeks to make it happen. Probably, you know, I probably won't do it for ages. I can live with it as it is for now, do the rest of the house, and then this shouldn't be too hard. Thinking about it, all I'll have to do is cut a square out of the ceiling and get rid of this wall. So it will create dust, but not like a crazy amount. Not, like, I think it's manageable. However, having, you know, thought things through a step further, I think pulling up this whole floor makes sense. So I'm going to rip this floor up. That will make it a lot easier later to install a staircase, or at least a bit easier. And I'm going to lay chipboard on top of these beams, screw it down. That way I'll be able to level the floor, because if you look at it from here, you can see it slopes up towards that corner. And also it's very heavy. Like, it's just tiles, and they don't really give any sort of strength to the room at all. Whereas if you screw down bits of chipboard, that'll actually lock everything in place quite a lot, because they're screwed onto the beams and stuff. Okay, I've pulled up about half the room, and there's just loads of buckets here now that I need to bring down. Right, here's all the crap that came out of the attic. Pile of rubble and a bunch of tiles. So yeah, had to bucket it all up and take it downstairs. I think this is 20 buckets worth of stuff, including the tiles. So sadly there's dust all over my house again now. It was nice and clean. There's dust all up the stairs, mud. So here we go. This is what the room now looks like. Absolute bare bones. Oh, and look at this. Found this little nest. I think it's a little mouse nest. You can see here, it's a collection of chewed up little bits of paper and straw and some nuts. And you can see this is where the mouse used to sleep. Yeah, lots of grain husks like this thing here. But yeah, anyway. So back here in this part of the room is where I'm going to box off. So to those I screwed just a load of planks and bits and bobs to connect this joist going across to the beams under here. So these are strengthened now. I'm going to now Put some battens across them, probably in like zigzags or whatever. Okie dokie, there we go. That goes all the way along. And then we've got panels screwed down here as well. So this levels it and makes it relatively flat all the way into this room, all the way down here. Okay, and over here you kind of see what I've been up to. Starting to lay down some of this chipboard, and here's the insulation. I think this is called rock wool or fiberglass insulation. This is the rock wool in place. Now I'm going to screw down some boards on top of it. This is all screwed down now. It's probably about 2/5 of this section of the room done. That back bit's not screwed down or insulated yet. I'm going to leave that till later. But yeah, this section's done. So we've got the bulk of the room chipboarded up. So the floor's in everywhere. It's all a bit messy, so you can't really see it in all its glory. But you get the idea. It's all boarded up, and it's a bit more level than previously, which is cool. So I've whacked this beam in. Well, it's not a beam, it's actually just a plank. Behind it was a really, really rotten beam just supporting this. I'm not sure what this hole was, whether it was like a chimney or something at one point. But yeah, it had a little lintel above it, completely rotten. So I put this new one in, and I'm going to fill this in. I'm going to make a little cubby hole here. I'm going to make it smaller, strengthen it up, and I'm going to put my networking equipment in there, like a router, and there's going to be a cable coming from the roof, where I will put a antenna, which will be like a 4G, 5G receiver, and the cable will come down into this box, and in here I'll have a modem, and that will be wired via Ethernet to downstairs. So it will be a pretty reliable internet solution without the need of getting like a contract or something, because you can just use mobile data. Over there you've got an electric box, which used to be up here, but I moved it, and then in here you've got a modem, and there's two cables coming in. One tube's here, that goes in to the back, and that will be for an aerial up to the roof. The other corner, in this corner here, there's a tube coming through and Ethernet cables come in. So I made a hole through the roof, and you can actually see the sky through there. So this tube here is going to get poked through there now. In fact, we can do that as we speak. Sweet. I've started adding some frames onto this wall, and there's a plug socket there in the corner over there. It's very crudely done. All this is going to be hidden once I put plasterboard over it, and also these boxes I have aren't designed for plasterboard. I mean, I could have gone and got some others, but I just, instead of spending more money and, you know, having to go and talk to the electrician and stuff, I just built this wooden frame for them, and it's all going to be hidden.
Bueno, hoy tengo un ayudante. Me está ayudando a trabajar en el ático. Lopecito! So I've got Lope up here, he's helping me out in the attic.
I've put loads of rock wool in the back there, just covering up the plaster ceiling to the room below. You can see it's just completely full of rock wool. Okay, I've boarded up the back now with plasterboard. So we've got another layer of floor laid. I've run out, so it stops here. You can see there, just there's the join. I'm going to batten up this wall now, insulate it, and stick some plasterboard on there. Right, I've got these battens all screwed into place along this wall and this wall. So I'm going to start insulating and putting plasterboard down. Okay, we filled it with insulation. Okay, we're slowly making progress. We've got a little bit of this roof boarded up, and this back section here is almost done. Right, so I've put battens along this side of the wall, and they go all the way along over here. I've got all of the walls insulated all the way over here, and this section here, behind the bulb here, and the roof section. Right, so the whole room is now plasterboarded, all of this section, and from the other side. So yeah, here it is from the other side. I've just given it a clean, it's all plasterboarded. I have cut and screwed down some extra chipboard. It looks a bit different, but it doesn't matter because none of this will be seen once the final floor's laid. I've done a bunch of plastering around the joins and along the beams. It's all very crude, so this is the first coat. And I'm going to do a second coat with fine plaster, you know, I think it's called skimming. So I'm going to skim all the walls with fine plaster to, you know, finish them. Over here you can see a cable hanging down with a switch on it. That's where I'm fitting a ceiling fan. Right, here we go. It looks really nice. I moved the switch so it's actually next to the vent hole instead of above it where it was. Right, there it is, all screwed into place. I haven't put the fittings on yet because I don't want to get any of this expanding foam on them because it's horrible stuff, horrible sticky shite. So I'm going to let all this go off and come back to it in a bit, probably tomorrow, and yeah, plaster it up. Absolutely bucketing it down. Hope my roof doesn't leak because I've just made a hole in it. Right, I've gone ahead and crudely plastered all of the joins along the whole, well, in the whole room, including along the top of the beams. So, okay, here we are. This room is fully plastered. It's looking nice. Just needs to dry, so this is very fresh still. It's done in kind of a crude style. I've just whacked on a load of plaster and sponged it down. Anyway, this room needs cleaning now, but first I'm going to let this dry a bit, and then I'm going to clean up all these, well, clean up these beams and clean the floor properly. Okay, I've just been cleaning, and this is how the floor looks after cleaning. There it is before. So I've got an absolute stack of carpets here soaking in the shower. They've been soaking most of the morning, and there's loads of them. You can see the trail of chaos, and this is where they're being washed. Here's one I did earlier, and here's the one I'm about to wash. Right, so let's get this spread out and excuse me. Let's get this spread out and wash it. Now you can see the colour difference after washing it. This is dark and then this is pinging, popping. So they're going to look a lot nicer, and hopefully they don't smell. If they still smell, I'm going to have to get them professionally cleaned because they really stink. Here we go. I got the room up here pretty much habitable, cozy. It's nice. Everything's dry. All the walls are finished. The plaster dried quite slowly, but it's all dry now, and I've got my bed up here. Let's see if I can focus on that. There we go. So I've got the bed up here, and I chopped the legs down by about 6 inches maybe, and yeah, it was quite hard work to get the mattress up here, but it's all in place now. I've got my books up here. Instead of building a bookshelf, I've just stacked them against the walls for now. It's quite nice. And yeah, put some rugs down. So I haven't laid a final floor. There's still just chipboard down. But it's cozy, you know. It's at a stage where I'm happy to leave it and continue on with the rest of the house. And at some point I'll come back to it and lay a nice wooden floor, paint the walls, and maybe even build a staircase up into here, because at the moment you have to climb up through this hatch, and a staircase would just be a lot easier.